You are live.
Thank you, Prabhu. You can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate
35, 36,
Vasudevaya.
45.
एक
Om
मिनट
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudidayet. Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevayam Bhagavati Uttama Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Reading of Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th Canto, Chapter 10, The Deliverance of the Yamana Arjuna Trees. We are covering today text 16. Nityam Shukshama Dehasya Daridrasya Nakanshina Indriyani Anususyanti Himsapi Vinivartate. Synonyms. Nityam, always. Kshut, with hunger. Kshama, weak, without necessary strength. Dehasya, of the body of a poor man. Daridrasya, poverty-stricken. Anakankshinaham, always desiring to get sufficient food. Indriyani, the senses, which are compared to snakes. Anususyanti, gradually become weaker and weaker, with less potency. Himsa api, the tendency to be envious of others. Vinivartate, reduces. Translation and purpose by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Always hungry, longing for sufficient food, a poverty-stricken man gradually becomes weaker and weaker. Having no extra potency, his senses are automatically pacified. A poverty-stricken man, therefore, is unable to perform harmful, envious activities. In other words, such a man automatically gains the results of the austerities and penances adopted voluntarily by saintly persons. Purport. According to the opinion of experienced medical practitioners, diabetes is a result of voracious eating, and tuberculosis is a disease of undereating. We should desire neither to be diabetic nor to be tubercular. Yavat artha prayojanam. We should eat frugally and keep the body fit for advancing in Krishna consciousness, as recommended elsewhere in Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st Canto, 2nd Chapter, Text 10. Shamasenendriya Pritir Lambho Jivita Javata Jivasya Tadvajijansa Nartho Yascheha Karma Vihim. The real business of human life is to keep oneself fit for advancement in spiritual realization. Human life is not meant for making the senses unnecessarily strong so that one suffers from disease and one increases in an envious, spiteful spirit. In this age of Kali, however, human civilization is so misled that people are unnecessarily increasing in economic development, and as a result, they are opening more and more slaughterhouses, liquor shops, and brothels. In this way, the whole civilization is being spoiled. Om Gyanat Mirandasya Gyanandarasya Kya Aksharaminam Janatasmai Sri Guruve Namah Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavriya Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Good morning, all. Thank you for the opportunity to allow me to serve Srimad Bhagavatam in all of you this morning. So far in this chapter, we've seen how King Parikshit asked Sukadeva Goswami why Nalakvara and Manigriva, the sons of Kuvera, were cursed by Narada Muni. And Sukadeva Goswami explained that being proud of their high position and intoxicated with wealth, they roam around naked near the Kailash and drinking Baduni liquor and sporting with women in the waters and the Mandakini. And when the Narada Muni saw this as he appeared, the girls quickly covered themselves out of respect and shame. But the two brothers, they totally intoxicated by arrogance and shamelessly remain naked. So when Narada Muni saw this, he decided to bless them through a course. So it was a blessing in disguise, right? And he explained how wealth, especially blinds intelligence more than beauty and the high birth or learning, and it can lead one to misuse it. And of course, by getting intoxicated, wine, women, or men, gambling, and so much cruelty, even to the extent of killing animals just for pleasure. We are not creators. We don't create anything in this universe. We use the elements that are already there, provided by Krishna. So if we cannot create life, who gives us the authority to hurt and kill life? So Narada reminded them of the temporary nature of the body, which ultimately turns to, as Bhagavatam explains, and we know that, it turns to worms, stew, or ashes. And question the stupidity, claiming ownership over it while the mind control acts. So he also explained that wealth makes people proud and they blind them to reality. But poverty can open their eyes by forcing them into humility, austerity, and also compassion. Most of the times. And in today's verse, let me just read it here again. Always hungry, longing for sufficient food, a poverty-stricken man gradually becomes weaker and weaker. Having no extra potency, his senses are automatically pacified. A poverty-stricken man, therefore, is unable to perform harmful, envious activities. In other words, such a man automatically gains the results of the austerities and penances adopted voluntarily by saintly persons. In other words, a poverty-stricken person is always dependent on providence, God. Naturally, naturally becomes purified, free from false prestige, what is there to be proud of, and less capable of harming others, again, most of the time. There are some sad cases, nevertheless, out there when the mind is bewildered. And so Narada Muni cursed Nalakuvara and Manigriva to become trees. So they would experience this austerity and humility and purification. And in his purport, Srila Prabhupada makes reference to Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 2, text 10. Let me read it, and I quote, "Life desires should never be directed towards sense gratification. One should desire only a healthy life or self-preservation, since a human being is meant for inquiring about the absolute truth. Nothing else should be the goal of one's works. And he further explains that the real business of human life is to keep oneself fit for advancement in spiritual realization. Human life is not meant for making the senses unnecessarily strong so that one suffers from disease and one increases in an envious fighting spirit. So, in this age of Kali, however, human civilization is so misled that people are unnecessarily increasing in economic development, and as a result, they are opening more and more slaughterhouses, liquor shops, and brothels. In this way, the whole civilization is being spoiled. End quote. And this is happening. We don't have to look very far to see it. More liquor shops, more casinos, more brothels, more slaughterhouses, and all this justified in the name of economic progress, development. But in truth, this is not progress. It is actually degradation of human society. Now, here's a question for us to consider. How often do we remember God? When everything is going well, when everything is excellent, do we really pause for a moment and say, thank you, Lord, whatever I'm getting, hey Krishna, thank you for giving me these blessings. If we can count our blessings, we are indeed blessed. We may have many issues, but if we still have food to eat, roof over our heads, and many other things, instead of complaining, we should be thankful. But the majority of times we think, it is due to my own hard work that I have all this wealth, that I'm doing excellent, that I got a new car, that I'm so privileged. I have been born in this family, in this aristocratic place. But let's not forget that the credit from previous good karma is also getting used up. So that stock is not unlimited. We have our bank, right? We make deposits and we make withdrawals. So the more withdrawals we make, our account can go on to negative. So real wealth is not in money, degrees, or social position. Real wealth is in understanding our true relationship with the Lord. Real wealth is being able to transcend the three modes of material nature and situate ourselves in Bhakti Yoga. And when we reach that platform, our gain then is not temporary; it's eternal. Everything in this material platform is only temporary. We may claim that we have this, we have that, we are all the money. Nobody can claim that we have all the money, can be a millionaire and probably be there, very successful. But that's also temporary. I found it interesting that many times, despite having studied and practiced Bhakti Yoga, the moment Maya, puts a carrot in front and we allow Maya to touch us, we forget our real goal. With the newfound fortune and riches, we think, I have become cool. I got a new car. I'm in power. And our behavior towards others, and sometimes with our dear close ones, including our parents, becomes terrible because of our inflated expectations and false sense of ownership. I started with Bhakti, but then I discovered that, okay, I can be wealthy and working. I'm not saying working is wrong. Working, maintaining our body, maintaining our family, that's our duty. We have to do it. But We have to do that again in a grateful, with a grateful understanding that the Lord is in the center. Not forgetting that, okay, this is my house, this is my money, this is my riches as well. Okay, God, I will come and see you on Sundays, and that's it. Other than that, I'm the doer. No. So Narada Muni, out of compassion, reminded Nalakuvara and Manigriva of the real, the reality of the body. Okay, so no matter how rich, no matter how powerful, the body ultimately becomes worms to ashes. Nothing in this material context, again, is permanent. No matter how much we try to spend and remain forever young, we may be able to get rid of some wrinkles. But this vehicle is going to go one day. It will come to an end. So money, yes, money can give social status or to a degree, but it can also give an inflated ego and untenable behavior because it fits the illusion that I'm more powerful, I have money, I can control. Yes, but only temporary. So to commit sinful acts in the name of preserving, decorating such a temporary body is the height of foolishness, the height of stupidity. We are creating a bank account that really does not exist. This body is not even ours. It is a temporary vehicle that is given by material nature, meant to be used in the service of the Lord, not to be abused, and certainly not meant to abuse others. This body, this vehicle, is the means to reconnect to the Lord and go back home, back to Godhead, the source of everything. The deeper point here is that while wealth makes one proud and blind to reality, poverty can open the eyes. There's a saying that someone needs to hit the ground in order to come up triumphant. Meaning, if you have not hit bottom, this bottom rock, you won't be able to understand the things that are above, because we always think that we are above everything. So poverty forces humility, austerity, and dependence on God, Krishna. A person who is poor naturally becomes purified because he cannot maintain false prestige. Only he's really, really it's rich with ego. And even then, just trying to show something that he or she does not have. So he has to live simply, tolerate, and depend on God. I have seen people actually who are even begging, but they are more compassionate than those who have the means to help but choose not to do so. And they even steal from the poor. So it is especially true for many near rich. I have money, I own you. I can treat you whichever way I want to. I don't care if you are this authority, that authority. I have money. I can do whatever it pleases me. No. That mentality is not going to bring us down, because humility is not weakness, it's a virtue. It takes strength and character to be humble, to really be humble. Not to say that I humbly do, so I'm your humble servant. How many times we say that, but are we really humble? Are we really following? Are we really projecting that? And projecting means we acting in that way, or we are stubborn. When somebody comes and tell us something, no, I got the power. I'm the one with the power. Who are you to tell me what to do? Do we have any tolerance, any respect? So these verses from Bhagavatam actually allow us to think, to introspect, to realize many things. The other day, Bhadra Prabhu was given the example of Ambarish Prabhu, and he's an heir of the fourth family, and he could have used his fortune to use it whichever way he wanted, travels and etc. But he decided to use it in the service of Krishna. And yet he remains very humble. George Harrison, once, he had all this money, and once he found the spirituality, came in touch with devotees, with Srila Prabhupada, he donated the manor, in London, and helped the devotees tremendously. He used his fortune for the right reasons. He used it, did not abuse it. We are many times enchanted by the richness of others, and we fall play and we think that they mistreat us, but we're right there. Oh, this person is here, it's like that. Well, that's good, their karma. Hopefully they will continue to accumulate good karma. But again, it takes strength, it takes character to be humble. Respect. And again, today's verse is very profound. See, what a saint achieves by voluntary fasting, by sleeping little, by practicing austerities, the poor man experiences automatically, simply by his condition of life. So Krishna is giving us at any moment, even at this moment, a chance to surrender and say, like, okay, God, I know I'm nothing without you. Poverty, though difficult, purifies. It makes a person dependent and free from arrogance and less capable of harming others. So therefore, Narada Muni courses Nala Kuvara Manigriva to become trees, the white trees. White trees. Because as trees, they would stand for thousands of years in austerity. They will be humble, purified, eventually delivered personally by the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna. And this so-called course, right, was in fact the greatest mercy. I look at the desert, when we're driving, particularly northern Arizona, and we see all these saguaro cacti, right? Just can you imagine what kind of karma all they have? They stand for years and years in the middle of the desert. So the goal of human life is not to strengthen the senses, but to realize the absolute truth. But in Kali Yoga, society has gone in the opposite direction. People think progress means increasing economic development, but the result is more and more places of misery, which may think places of pleasure, but they are not. When somebody is intoxicated, loses his mind. What peace can be there? What cleanliness can be there? Slaughterhouses killing innocent lives just because we don't understand their language. An animal, when it's going to be killed, starts shouting, starts making noises. It's pleading for its life. But just because we don't understand their language, we don't care. This is an inferior being. We don't realize that part of the Lord, also his Paramatma feature, is also in the heart of that living entity. We don't care. So what can we learn from this? First, that wealth must be used properly. Just like our free will, we use it, we abuse it, or misuse it. Wealth is the same. So when it is used in the service of Krishna, everything rotates, everything like an ingram, moves nicely. We're grateful. But if we misuse it, then becomes the greatest curse. And it will attract many who will want to not enjoy with us, but enjoy what you have. Bad association. If it is used for devotion, it becomes the greatest blessing. Second, we must remain humble and dependent on Krishna, no matter what our situation is. Poverty may appear harsh, but it can purify and protect us from arrogance. Again, I'm not saying we just have to give everything and stop working and not depend and I'm not and moving it to the temple and now, okay, I'm going to dedicate myself. No, that's a different thing. What is the purpose of living the temple? What is the purpose of joining in a spiritual, becoming spiritual, joining Iskcon? Okay, now they're going to be taking care of me. That's the wrong thinking. If we want to be in the temple, we want to be dedicated devotees, is because we want to serve Krishna and we want to serve devotees, not because I'm going to be taken care of. When I take care of Krishna's business, Krishna takes care of me. When I take of Krishna's devotees, Krishna takes care of me. What is the intention by which we join? What is the intention by which we serve? It's okay to work. Sometimes we get, everybody has a quota. So and Krishna give us what we need. Probably many times not what we want, but certainly he covers our needs. So we have to be very careful how to not to abuse what is given. Work again, because we have to take care of this body. And if we are in a grihasta, we need to work because we need to take care of our families. That does not make us karmi, and we have to be very careful when we use this term, particularly with devotees. Oh, he's working that word. Oh, they're karmis. I'm a devotee because I'm in the temple. Well, but these are karmis. No, these karmis are helping the temple. These karmis are helping the movement because they're now devotees. Just because we are working outside doesn't mean that we don't have Krishna at the center. So we have to be very careful. Wearing wearing different clothing does not make a difference on the heart of the person. So we have to be very careful that we also don't become very proud, and just because we have more, or we think to have more spiritual wellness than others. So Nala, Kuvara, and Manigriva were saved because of a pure devotee, Narada Muni. And throughout Bhagavatam, we have seen the importance of association, the importance of coming in touch with a spiritual master, with a bona fide spiritual master that can come and help us and change our lives. So Narada Muni had that caring disposition, always had that caring disposition. And he cares so much that he says, like, okay, you need this. You're just way too much in this intoxication, in this carried by Maya. You need to be corrected. So he called so he calls them, so that what they had, he calls them, but they knew that then Lord himself was going to deliver them. And for us, the lesson is clear. Whether rich or poor, our real wealth is bhakti, devotion to Krishna. If we cling to that, then every situation, whether it's a blessing or a curse, becomes a stepping stone to reach our goal, Krishna. By the way, I would like to note something that was discussed, I think, a couple of days ago. Someone asked, and you can correct me, Damodar Prabhu, but someone asked about the heaven, and we're thinking that we're the Christians or the Catholics, when they talk about heaven, they mean Indraloka, Swargaloka, but this is actually incorrect, because when they talk about heaven, they're actually talking about the paradise, the place that has no end, that is permanent, where God exists. So that actually could equate with Vakunta or Vingoloka. They when they again, that maybe we miss things in translation, but that is like the ultimate place with where God lives, and we can call it Krishna, we can call it the Almighty. God is one. Ishwar Paramaha Krishna Sachitananda Vigraha Anadira Dirgo Vidasapa Karana Karana. So where the Lord lives, that's eternal. Let's go Goloka, it's Vakunta, right? So please just make sure that we don't misunderstand, because then we don't want to, if we do not know the context of other faiths, we should be very careful how to talk, because then we should be always praise and look at the similarities, not have a discrepancy on the differences. At the end, whether we follow this tradition or that tradition, the important thing is to connect back to Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada himself said that the best religion is that which will connect us, will take us back to Godhead. With this, I will end. Vanchakalpatarupyascha kripasindu vevacha patitanam pavanevya vaishnavevya namo namaham. Thank you so much for the opportunity of serving Srimad Bhagavatam and all of you this morning. We have special program tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday with Her Grace Aruda Devidasi on parenting Krishna consciousness. So please join us. It's going to be amazing sessions. Tomorrow's workshop from 10 to 1. Please look at the flyers in our Facebook page or website, iskconphoenix.com. Radharani's Kitchen also is prepared. You can see the menu in our Facebook page. And please contact Parthsarathi Prabhu before 8 p.m. tonight to place your order. Am I forgetting anything? This Sunday, because we have a special program, it's going to be a Monday morning program. There is not going to be any evening program. You can come and take darshan and for Aarti, but there is not going to be any program Sunday evening. So thank you very much. Damodar Prabhu, are there any questions, comments? We call anybody.
No question, Mataji.
No question. Thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Always remember Krishna. Never forget Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.